I'm gonna wipe my nose real quick.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Merch Money. Today we have Kristin Harris with us. We're so excited.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys?
Amy Springer is not feeling well today, so unfortunately she's not going to be able to be with us, but she is in the chat, so she's still here. So anyway, we usually just go around and introduce ourselves and just say one thing we're proud of for the week. Amy, you want to go first? I didn't even think of my one thing. I didn't mean to question on somebody else.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. It looks like a very active chat this evening. Thank you all for coming in. I'm Amy Nicholas, Marketing Mayhem Girl. Although still waiting on AMS very patiently with my application.
We gotta tell Amazon, like, how can the marketing girl not have it?
Some people got approved yesterday.
Yeah, see, my time is coming. My time is coming.
Reapply.
Yeah. No, I'm on my third application here.
Really?
Yeah. I think I did it wrong the first 2 times. So
that's kind of what happened to me too. Yeah, that's kind of I got approved. Thankfully.
I still haven't done it because I still have the old one. I don't know if I really like. If
Do you have sponsored products though?
Well, sponsored products is the main one, right? That's the one I always did.
You should have 3 options.
I never did. So I had it before. It never got shut down for me. And I always just did sponsored products. I didn't do the banner ads or anything else.
Like auto.
So I already have them set up. So I was like, I don't really want to like reapply and then close all those down and start over. So I just keep using those. Yeah. I don't know.
Good.
You guys will have to let me know if it's different.
I don't think it is.
It's not.
I think it's the exact same. Yeah. I am marketing other than that. So working on some Shopify stuff, playing around with Etsy, promoted listings, trying to drum up some new products to go for Q4 because I think the name of the game is being unique and just doing a lot of testing. And I'm happy to report that I have a lot of stuff outsourced like in my business. So I'm able to like, turn this on at the right time before the craziness starts. So I'm excited for that and excited to just keep serving people with like the research bundles and, helping people that are new to merch and just like, I don't have any clue how to research. Let me just get a bundle, So exciting stuff. We sold out last week's bundle. So good stuff.
Nice. That's exciting.
Awesome. Cool.
Go Bree.
My turn?
Torch.
All right. What's up, guys? I'm Brianna Muller-Green. I'm a co-owner of design4dollars.com. I always got to do 4. There's so many options here. F-O-R, F-O-U-R. No, the number 4. So, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what day it is. Like, it's crazy. Like, Q4 is still coming because I feel like I'm in it. It's all fun. It's all like crazy good stuff. Finished up with some clients, Shopify stores, and took on a couple of new clients. So I'm excited about that because I like to get into the niche with them. What else did we do? Oh, crushing keywords. Duncan and I at D4D are doing a live webinar on Wednesday. So him and I are like 2 squirrels trying to.
I love how Christina talks about like herding cats. That's how she describes it.
It totally is. So when you guys are on the webinar, and especially if Duncan and I are left alone, like to just finish up a project, we're like, so many things going on. We just get so excited. But yeah, we're going to do the live crushing keywords thing on Wednesday. So you guys can join us for that. Orbit kit, I talk about that all the time. And like, I was guilty of like not having mine completely up and running. I go in, I get excited, I go on my Orbit kit bender for like days. And then I'm just like, oops, I forget about it. And then I'm like, come on. So that was my own personal thing. I finally got everything just up and my blueprints are good and the designs are back and popping. So
nice.
I get in the habit of doing it like once a week. Like I'll have my VA rename the files for the week with titles that I have in a spreadsheet. And then I just,
system, right? Yeah. Like once you get that little system.
The rhythm. Yeah, just get a rhythm to it. And then, it's paying off already, but keep Hopefully, should be really cool.
Oh, I can't wait. I totally can't wait. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is Chicago Ecom is coming up. So if we have anyone watching that wants to go to the conference and hasn't gotten a ticket yet, I mean, tickets are still on sale, but we are giving away 2 free tickets. So we're going to do the drawing tomorrow. I will drop the entry link on my page so that anyone who's interested can enter. But I'll go live at 11 a.m. tomorrow and we'll give away the 2 free tickets.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and that way you guys have time to plan your flight. I haven't planned my flight yet, so I'll be doing that. Right, in one of these other tabs up here.
I know,
Brianna.
all the tabs.
What was that?
Where do you live?
I'm in Western New York, so south of like Buffalo, Niagara Falls area, just south of there, 45 minutes.
I used to go to school in Albany.
Awesome! I went to
drive
Fredonia, the SUNY system. So
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
but I would drive down whatever highway that was and go through Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because we're right there on the Pennsylvania border, and it's so funny too because when you say you're from New York, they either think I'm from the city, or they call us upstate. We're not upstate. We're Western New York. You know what I mean?
There's upstate New York, and then there's New York City. That's how people conceptualize.
Yeah.
It's basically New York City, and then all the rest of New York is just like this blob
of cows and pastures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rural here. So college town.
Nice.
But, yeah, so that's all I have going on.
All right. Well, I'll go real quick. My name is Helen Kinson, merch boss. And this week, I would say the biggest thing I did is just get Merch Wizard set up and get that going. So I posted about that today in the group. For anyone who doesn't know, it is awesome. It's like this great, sorry, I'm like the worst with earbuds. They always fall out for me.
I know, I hate them.
It is like such a good way to organize all your files. So it works with Airtable, and it's just, I mean, I don't need to go too far into it, but it has been so helpful. And as you get more and more files, it's just so nice to have like an easy system to use. And I can finally see all of the shirts that have reviews. So I love that. Like I've been wanting that for so long, and now I can just sort. And I'm like, I mean, I basically knew just because, you know, the ones that sell the most have the most reviews, but there was a few that I didn't know about. So it was really good to have that.
Helen, what are the highlights real quick of what the goal of this? Like, what are the big things that Merch Wizard does?
Well, it's a long list. Like if you look on the table, there's like a video that walks through it, and then it says like it's like this long of like the questions that it answers, like your problems in merch that it solves. So one thing is organization. Remember when we went to the Ohio meetup and I was trying to explain to you the database that I wanted?
Yeah.
This is like exactly like I was telling you word for word what I wanted, and then he did this and added more. So it's like exactly the database I wanted. Airtable is like a hybrid between a database and an Excel spreadsheet, but it has enough functionality that it works just as well as a database. So, and it's free if you have under, I think, 1,200. So I'm doing the paid one because I have more than that. But all you do is there's like Chrome extension.
Okay.
There's a Chrome extension and the Airtable, and they sync together. So the Chrome extension connects with your merch account. And so when you're in the Manage tab, you just say send to Airtable, and it sends everything to the Airtable, and it gets all even like this whole table that shows the title, the description, the bullet points, the total sales you've ever sold of it, BSR, reviews, what the reviews were, like if it was 5-star, if it was 2-star, whatever. One of mine was 2-star for some reason. I'm like, how do I have a 2-star? Like, anyway, and you can sort it easily. So, I mean, you can do that with Excel too, but it's just a little easier. Like it just sorts better, and there's a lot more things you can do with it. And then you can go and attach all your PNGs, which I haven't finished doing yet, but you can, that is like a separate step. It shows the picture from merch, so you can see the picture of it. But it's, if you want the actual like PNG file, you link that separately. But you can also keep track of where, one of the reasons, partly it's just I've been too busy, but one of the reasons I haven't gone on all the other platforms is because I was like, how am I going to keep track of where all these thousands of shirts are, what platforms they're on? Like, I was like, in my head, I was thinking I was going to wait till I got a database, and I was thinking I would use Salesforce or something like that. But then when he came out with this, I'm like, here's my database, finally. So now
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
now
it's going to have a dashboard
track
or something too. Then there's a dashboard piece that it's going to show on the other pods. Is that what you mean?
Well, it's more just like you link it. I think there's like a check mark you could do or something, or you could just add a
organizational.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's very
Oh,
organizational.
gotcha.
Yeah, I can show you after, or hopefully I'll do a video. I wanted to do a video today on it, but I mean, it's so good. It's so worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got merch as well.
You use it too?
I am, but I've only used it for the organizational aspect because that is like one of my biggest weaknesses. Keeping track of things. But I've got stuff that, and I don't know, does it auto update? Like if I get a bad review and it's already in the table, I think you have to maybe resync it. I don't know. I'll have to.
I think there's like a little thing that says like update sales or something. So you just click that real quick. So you can just go through all your, you can do it by 100. So like on Amazon, on your merch account, you just make sure you have 100 listings showing and you just say update and it updates all of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
because I was like,
a lot with when you need to, like if a shirt falls off and never sold, it makes it really easy to just, you have everything. You have the bullet points, you have everything, you have the PNG file. So you can use that Chrome extension to just reload it really quickly or reload it onto like long sleeve or premium or anything like that. So it makes listing faster. It makes listing faster to other platforms because you have all the data right there. So it really helps with organization and speeding everything up and just like making good decisions. So, like pricing, we always talk about pricing in all the different groups and everybody has different strategies, but you tend to just get into whatever you price at. So people just do $19.99 straight across or $15.99. Like they pick a number and they just stick with it instead of looking like what should it really be priced at. So you can see your BSR, you can see how many sales you have. It helps. It helps you decide like, I should raise this now. It's selling often. Like, let's see if I can raise it. And you'll be able to easily see if your sales dropped. Because if you raised it and then your sales, you have a higher BSR now, you'll know, okay, let me go back down to what it was before. So it makes it so everything is based on something instead of just like guessing.
And it seems like it puts it all right there in front of you, so it's easy to compare, contrast, review, analyze. Because right now we've got to like grab it from 50 million places.
Yeah, and it's so much just like how you feel. Like it's like, okay, I think this shirt used to sell all the time, and now it's not. And then it kind of just goes out of your mind, like. But then when you see it and you see all the sales, you're like, that shirt hasn't sold in months, but I sold like 200 of them. Like whatever happened, and then it helps you like figure out what you need to do to jumpstart that shirt again.
That's cool.
So, yeah, sorry about that long tangent.
Well, you obviously like it, right?
It's something that I've been working on this week, so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I definitely need to look at the other aspects of what it does other than just the spreadsheet because it's so much more. That's all to look at. And then I add a column at the end for AMS. So bad at kind of keeping track of what I'm advertising on AMS.
Yes, you can do that.
You get so many listings. It's like, I have no idea what's an auto campaign, what's a manual campaign. And
Airtable is just something I need to learn more. First of all, he sets it up. So you don't have to set it up. He has
copy the table.
Yeah, you just copy the template. So you don't have to know anything about Airtable to use it. But if you do know about Airtable, Airtable has so much functionality. There's so many things you can do with it. So for people who have VAs and things like that, you can, I don't know 100% what you can do with it, but I'm pretty sure you can set the limits on what they can do or what they can see and, share things with them. So lots of good stuff. But all right, well, let's introduce Kristin. We've been talking 15 minutes. We haven't even introduced Kristin. So
introduce on the couch.
Your 30K tier, like
30K
superstar
tier.
on merch. We had so many people like that post that I did. Like they were so excited to see you today. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, good to be here. Yeah, 30K, but I don't know, like the kind of excitement of tier increases.
Mm-hmm.
The higher you get, the more it's like, like so exciting. Like, man, I need to get to 2K. I need to get to 4K.
Right.
This time last year I was at like 1 or 2K. I think I was maybe 2K or waiting for a 2K tier up. Eligible for a 4K tier up in December. And, you really felt like you needed those slots. But now it's like uploads a day is kind of what they cap you at. And then if you get so many slots, it's like, there's no way I'm going to meet that.
Yeah.
That capacity like ever. So
that's cool. Well, how did you get started? Are you full-time with print on demand, or do you have a full-time job?
I don't have a full-time job, thank God, because that would suck. I used to work for the VA.
Oh, okay.
And I just felt so trapped. So at the time I started an Etsy store where I was making handmade jewelry.
Oh.
Like shut my door and go on my little Etsy.
That's awesome.
Etsy room. Did you have an Etsy room?
I did. Oh my God. I had a full basement in the one house. And then me and my ex rented a house when we moved to Cleveland, and I had a whole room in the upstairs, like devoted to Etsy stuff. But ultimately I had to put that aside because, you can't scale, but kind of new life. I'd be like, yes, I'm excited, more excited to work on this than I am about like coming through my door and all the, red tape and all that. So I was like, well, I used to have this dream of being an entrepreneur when I was like 10 years old for some reason. I don't know what it was. I don't know where the idea came from, but I was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Eventually, like society, you go to school, you go to college, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you kind of fall into that mindset of I need to do something where I can get a job. I need stability, security. And I kind of like left that, pushed that off to the side until Etsy came along. And then I started doing FBA stuff after Etsy because I just physically couldn't keep making jewelry. Like it was hurting my body. Physical. It's very physical, like your hammer and sanding stuff. And it's just, just not fun after a while. So I started Amazon FBA, which is great, but you got to have money and you don't know if your stuff's really going to sell. But a few months into that, I signed up for merch. So it was September 2016. And I just sort of like created some text-based designs, added some clip art, did stuff here and there, but I didn't really take it seriously. So I didn't even know there was a freeze that first December 2016. I had no clue because I just wasn't on it. I was more interested in FBA. It was my first Q4. So I was excited. But even despite that, like, and not having a ton of design stuff, I still made a grand in of that first year. So that was pretty cool. And then like I'd just go on merch every once in a while. And then the eclipse happened. And I totally missed the eclipse, but to kind of, get more into the merch community. And I thought, all right, well, I think I was watching RJ's stuff about how he was scaling. Like he hired a designer. I don't know if he had an uploader at that point, but it was like, you know what, let me get a designer because I can't design worth a crap. But also it'll help hold me accountable because like this person's going to have like a quota like every day or every week. And so it's going to make me work more on my merch. And that's kind of September 2017. So about a year.
Awesome. And that is so true. If you have somebody if
somebody's working for you, it's like,
yeah,
can I come up? Let me do my research, which I enjoy research for the most part, but it kind of got me more serious about merch. So totally kicking myself for the eclipse though.
Kristin, where are you located at?
I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, okay, cool. I heard Cleveland in there, and I was well, I'm only 2.5 hours from Cleveland.
I used to live in Pittsburgh for a while.
Oh, cool. All right.
And my ex and I moved up to Cleveland, and then we broke up, and I was like, I'm out of here because why do I want to be in Cleveland?
Peace.
Bye, Cleveland. By that time, I was like a stay-at-home entrepreneur, right? So it's like I wasn't like out, making friends or anything. So I'm like, I'm gonna go up to Northern Ohio near my parents.
Yeah.
And so
cool.
I got my license too in Ohio for psychology.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was seeing people like 1 to 2 days a week, just kind of doing it as I wanted and not like having to feel burnt out.
Yeah.
You know, doing it every single day can be kind of,
yeah.
Yeah.
a little exhausting. So now I'm done with that private practice. And now I'll get licensed here eventually in Michigan. But I can take my time, right?
Yeah. Well, you're doing awesome with merch, so you don't even have to go back if you don't want to.
Yeah. But even like, even like the higher tiers, like I'm definitely affected by whatever's going on the last couple of months or so, or more than that. You would think, and just comparing data from last year to this year.
Yeah.
Like,
I noticed a big difference in January of this year, and it never really fully came back for me. I mean, it got better over the summer and everything, but definitely a huge drop in January, February, March.
Yeah. But Black Friday was amazing. That was so I'm still really looking forward to it. I think it'll still be kind of kick-ass and and being on other PODs. I do have like Printful linked up to my Etsy now. And so what I do is I just take select designs every day and I have a VA upload it onto Printful and then do the Etsy thing. And then I have her do mugs on Amazon via Printful. Which they're not really popular right now, but maybe Q4 they'll start to pop and they'll just be a little bit extra money. And then we got Orbit Kit, where I'm just like loading stuff to Zazzle, Redbubble, and all that, and getting a couple sales a day on those two at least. So I think Q4 is gonna be cool.
Awesome. Well, you've definitely prepared. You're doing all the right things. So
I hope so.
Yeah. So. Well, Amy or Bree, did you want to say anything before I
wanted to just comment really quick that Kristin mentioning how you were going to get licensed in Michigan now for psychology. Like, that's such a powerful, good example, though, of like what you can do when you do print on demand and merch by Amazon is it's the flexibility to do really whatever the hell you want with your time. So it's like, if you're feeling all in with print on demand and merch by Amazon and it's your thing, awesome, you can go with it. But then like, if you're feeling compelled or passionate about something else, that can still help free your time up to do that other thing, or because we don't all just have one passion. There's a lot of things that we're all interested in. So I think that's one important thing about merch is like, you can go crazy. You can have a full-time income. You can do part-time income. You could use it just to free up your time to do what you really, really love, So I just I thought that was a good example of that, still being able to do something else too.
Well, I know I've been on just a couple other shows before and I mentioned that my mom has cancer. And so one of the things, and that's one of the reasons I moved up to Ann Arbor, so that's where she gets her treatment. But one of the things that merch has really been helpful with, and she was diagnosed about a year ago, was, when you have cancer, like it's not just like going in real quick for treatment, then you go home. It's just a whole day taken out for like chemotherapy, and then complications come up and you might need a procedure. You might have to go to the emergency room, so there's just lots of things that come up with her. And so the ability to kind of like, I have a little hotspot that I take my laptop with me room, with her, and I'll get a little bit of work done. Or if I don't get any work done that day, oh well, like it's not like I've got to I don't have to cancel and clear my whole schedule to like be there. And that's what March, has really allowed me to do.
Yeah.
My family.
That is huge.
That's the cool part.
That's so awesome that you're there for your mom for that.
Yeah. There's no way I could and her diagnosis is terminal. So, it's rough. And I know like if I had to go into the office, go work for the VA, like 7:30 to 4 p.m. like I used to, like, there's no way. Like I would have to take FMLA, for months and paycheck, right? But here I've got, stuff uploaded to merch, thousands of designs. So even if I'm not working on it, I'm going to get some sales.
That is awesome. Wow. I'm sorry you're going through that and your mom's going through that. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the only one though.
Yeah, oh my gosh. We have such a great community. It's just amazing what everybody's going through. And so many people that this doing merch helps when they have like chronic pain. I'm like amazed how many people in our community have chronic pain. Like I didn't really know too many people before, but it's a lot.
I have chronic pain.
Wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. There you go.
Gosh.
I'm like, so here's all my problems, guys.
Talking about your mom first.
No, but that's super cool though that you know, like there's other people watching that are like, no way, me too, and she's doing this. I could do this too. This could be something that I could do, you know.
30K here.
Yeah, and you're killing it at the same time, doing great, you know.
But, you know, anybody that has chronic pain, like at a certain level, like there are days where you're just not very productive. You're working on like trying to control the pain, trying to like get through it. Might not want to sit at your desk. You might need to lay down. You might need to stand up, you know, whatever. And you'll be feeling like kind of a gerbil, you know, in a wheel, like stuck in an office all day. It's the worst thing for chronic pain. Like I would constantly have to use sick leave to go home early. And, you know, with merch, like you just have so much freedom. So when things pop up like that, you can just take care of yourself if you need to. So
that is powerful. That's awesome.
But stem cells, I'm looking into stem cells. I'm gonna see if there's like I'm gonna see if stem treatment's gonna help my spine.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know how it goes.
My background is biology and chemistry, so I'm like, ooh, yes. It's very interesting to me.
I'm just curious, Kristin, do you try any like natural methods away from what the hospital suggests? Okay.
Oh yeah, I've tried everything.
Yeah.
I take
like, I don't even know what do they suggest, like all kinds of weird natural things.
They don't really like no one did an MRI of my spine until 3 years later.
Wow.
So by that point, and it was a pain clinic doctor, like, oh, just go to pain clinic. And they gave me cervical epidurals. And yeah, that's fun. And then he's like, oh, I think you have fibromyalgia, and just like threw Lyrica at me, which I don't have. I took it anyways. But they don't like to give you like narcotics for chronic pain because it's not really, you know, for that. But I'll take like turmeric. I do ice. I do heat. I do, what else? I've done acupuncture, chiropractor. I've done stuff too. I don't remember, but yeah, I've tried it.
Wow.
Yeah. I've tried it.
Well, you're amazing. So amazing that you're able to do all this even with that. So absolutely amazing. So back to your background, you were in psychology, and then you were working at the VA. So you have no design background, right? Like you were not a designer.
Oh God, my first designs, like I had to basically do scale designs because I was such a designer that I'd be like, well, let me like put effort on like one design and try my best, and then just like replace words on it. So I still have like those up, but no, all text based plus some like clip art. You know, that's kind of my skill set.
There you go. Well, what did you use the overlap, or what did you use?
I actually do use Photoshop.
Oh, okay. Well, see, you're fancy. You're like a real designer now.
I don't know. It's kind of like I also enjoy kind of figuring things out too. Like, you know, I like to kind of figure out that program, like I'll watch my little YouTube videos, but I don't do that anymore. I just outsource it. Like I would rather spend time doing research, gonna sell and keywords and all that good stuff.
Well, there you go. Let's go into that then. That was going to be my next question. So what do you do for research?
So I had signed up for Merch Informer like forever ago, you know, when they're offering the kind of the low discount and that. And I didn't really use it except for that like one feature where it would just show you like all the top designs.
Right.
Wasn't like, I don't know, that's not very useful for me. So I was like, it was just Merch Informer business. And then I started talking to Neil a little bit. And I'm like, oh, he's a nice guy. Let me like actually check this out some more. So I do like when I start doing my research, I usually either start on Amazon itself or I start with Merch Informer. And I'll use like, you know, if I've got some kind of niches in mind, I might like throw in that keyword into the product search. I'm gonna double check.
That's what I do. I use like I start with a niche.
Yep. Yeah, for the product search, and I'll just put that in. And the product search feature, it also has like a word count.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll kind of look in that word count too to see if there's any like keywords that jump out at me where I could, come up with either additional ideas or that I might want to keep in mind when I'm writing the listing. So like when I'm writing a listing, I might go back into that project search and kind of see, what other keywords
That's really smart. That is, that saves time because when you're doing everything all at once, you're figuring out your keywords.
I'm still scattered though. I'm still scattered. I go in there like 20 times, like, why didn't I do this all together? But even something like a tool like Uber Suggest or any other kind of keyword tool, if you put in like basketball gift, it's going to show you a bunch of related keywords. Like, oh, I didn't think about, making one for the coat, like, a design for a basketball coach or a basketball, whatever. Like it'll, I don't know. They kind of updated it though. It's not as, I don't know. But the old format, like when I would scroll through, I would get additional ideas for like related kind of design ideas in Uber Suggest. And I know there's lots of other keyword tools out there. I think from Google anyways, but yeah, sometimes I like going on there too, like just a general keyword tool to see what other like related areas pop up.
Do you have multiple designers, Kristin, or I can't remember?
Well, I did. I fired one and then I just fired a VA today too.
Oh wow, just today.
I'm kind of proud. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. I'm like the worst. I'm like the worst at like giving people, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10 chances, and people are like, you need this person. I'm like, yeah, but I feel bad and blah, blah, blah. Like I've had it. I need to be like more cutthroat.
So good job. You did a boss move today. Yeah. That's awesome.
But yes, I have one designer and now just one VA, but the one I'm just fired and the other VA, they're sisters. So I don't know if she's going to stay or not. So I have to talk to her. We'll see. But yeah, so yeah, but Merch Informer, I'll use the product search and then I'll look into the trending ones too. And kind of maybe get some ideas from there. Got the Michael Essany newsletter. Although I'll forget to kind of look at that sometimes.
I know it's so much to keep track of all these different things.
And now Matt has Matt and RJ, I think. Yeah. Newsletter as well. And I never get a chance to read that.
I was really good about reading it. And then at some point it just dropped off. So I need to get back on reading theirs and reading Michael Essany's.
I'll put them up in a tab and then I'll forget the tabs there.
Me too. And then the whole thing crashes. The browser crashes. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I didn't write it down or I didn't bookmark it.
Well, you got to get the Session Buddy. You got to get Session Buddy or some other extension. Yeah. Session Buddy. And a lot of times it will save it, but like you sometimes have to remember to save it every once in a while. But it's an extension. Session Buddy.
All right. I gotta write that
there we
down.
go. All these different little nuggets.
But what'll happen for me is I'll put the tab up and then a week will go by and the new newsletter will come out. And so I'm like, well, let me just like close this one and put up the new one and then I'll browse it real quick. Or I'll go into sometimes I'll go into his like t-shirt ideas and like long sleeve ideas and whatever. And I'm like, I don't understand what he's talking about.
Right? I know. So many times I'm like, what is this?
Confused. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you look it up and you're like, oh.
And then, I like to go on Amazon itself too. And sometimes I will like literally just put in the word like t-shirt orca and pull up like all the merch shirts. But I'll start with like, I think it's also Neil's thing. Let me look. Like, cause his stuff, the merchinformer.com/merch Amazon listings, that merch research search thing. I think what that does on Neil's site, I think it helps you pull up like all the results versus just that little segment that Amazon sometimes like restricts you to be like, oh, there's 10,000 results, but you're only going to get to see the first like 5-6 pages. And I'm like, I want to go back there and kind of find those little hidden gems. And so I think that his search tool allows that. I haven't tested it too much, but
Is that under the Merch Hunter or?
I can share the link. I just have it up in a tab. So I have no idea how I found it.
Little tabs.
I'll see if I can put it in the chat. I don't know if it'll let me put a URL.
When you're doing your research, do you tend to focus on a few different niches, or do you have like lots and lots? Like, are you only a couple niches or just all over?
Well, one of the good tips I got from Anas months ago was like, he was like, you know, how many niches are you in? And, you know, how deep are you into those niches? I'm like, I don't really know any of that. You know, I'm like just scattered and I don't keep track of things. And so for a time, and I need to do it, I was starting to like write down my niches and looked how
you said you have Merch Wizard, right? Because that's another thing we forgot to talk about. You can tag all your niches on Merch Wizard. So then you'll easily be able to,
right?
Yeah, you can multi-tag. Yep.
Niches like intersect.
Exactly. That was what was so hard, but to keep track, because you're like, well, this is cat, but it's also Halloween and it's also this.
Or like, wine, cat, Halloween, unicorn.
Yep.
You know, sloth.
All of those. Unicorn, Halloween.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Don't be stealing my niche.
I loved the sloth on the end.
Sloth.
Oh, and tacos.
Tacos.
And a cat pinata to round it all up.
Yep.
That's for Amy Springer.
Yeah.
And for Michelle.
But no, what was I? Oh yeah, so organization was something I've been lacking. And so I just created a spreadsheet and I'm like, okay, well, what niches am I in? Because I'm in it since 2016. And I'll think, oh, I've got this niche covered. And I go and I look back and I'm like, this is not, like, I literally have like one design left in this from 2016. Like, how did I think I had that niche covered? And I'm like, well, let me like actually think about like some niches within this niche that I can do. I'm like,
how many times have you like hit a niche and been like, you maybe sold a couple and it was like 3 shirts and then you're like, why did I stop uploading to this?
Right. It's because we just like, there's so many
shiny balls that
we want to do. Yeah, there's so many niches and there's so many things you want to do, and then you start using your tool like Merch Informer. This looks good. This looks good. This looks good. And it's hard to focus.
Just takes one sloth to pop up in front of your face.
I know.
And you're just like, and then like, you forget what was worth. Yeah.
Or holiday.
Yeah, basically. So sometimes I'm like super organized and like I'll give my designer a Monday through Friday tabs in a shared spreadsheet for the week. And I'll separate them by day and I'll, have a column where I just say what's on the design and then I give instructions. Fun. And some weeks I'll have like a full day of like pretty much the same niche, for like each day. And then some weeks I'm like just throwing everything left and right at him that are completely different niches, things that are unrelated. And, that's kind of reflective of where my brain is at. Sometimes I'm super focused. Sometimes I'm just like, I've got like weird energy or brain fart where I'm like, I can't do research right now for some reason. And then I'll get like towards the end of the week and I'm like adding designs on the end because I'm like all of a sudden inspired, so
I'm still working on a like ability to think that far in advance, like a week, because it's like,
that was
like
interesting.
Moment by moment. Wait, what's trending?
And that's another interesting change that I made as well, was giving them a week's worth at a time. Quite work out like that. Like, it usually be Sunday. I'm like, man, let me give them like Monday's designs.
Yeah.
So I'll like finish it like today. I finished the rest of the week's designs.
Yeah.
But kind of chunking it all together like that, it kind of makes it feel, because I think it was starting to kind of feel like a grind for me, where it was like each day I would, I had 2 designers at that point. And each day I was giving them designs for the next day, ideas for the next day. And then they were like producing them. And then one gave them to me at night. The other gave it to me in the morning. And then if I don't check the one that I fired was at night, if I don't check hers, I might not get the revisions in the morning, if I wait till one. So it was just like,
just too much dependent on you.
Yeah. It's like dominating your day. It seemed like.
Yeah. Then I didn't like that. And so it was Anas that gave that idea of like, let's do a week's work at a time. And I'm like, okay, let me try this. And it's been working pretty well, except for like a little, being stumped. So just not feeling creative or, a little stuck, but I can get over that within a day.
Yeah.
Get back into it and give them a week's worth. And then you check a week's worth at once. Like Friday, Saturday, I'll look over a week's worth of designs. I have a feedback column and tell him when the feedback's up. And then he'll get them to me by usually by the end of Saturday, but I tell him Monday's fine.
I feel like that could lead into you've said Anas gave you tips a couple different times. I feel like you're really, really good with networking and knowing everyone in the community. So talk about that. Like, how did you get to know everybody? How do you talk to everybody? Like,
I think the thing, I don't remember, because I remember it was like December of last year. Mm-hmm. I know what I did. I started posting like screenshots on Instagram. Oh. And they were like really good. Yeah, like November was like really good. I was like, haha, you can post it, you're like proud. And then either Matt or RJ saw it, and I think Matt or RJ, one of them like invited me on the show, and I was like, all right, let me just get on the show. And I'm like not a huge show person, like let me just go and do it. And then I did the show, and then I started talking to them privately, and then talking to like the people that they hang out with privately. And then it kind of snowballs from there. And then you start just showing up for events, right?
Yeah.
Coachella in January, where I got to meet people in person. And then we had a little private mastermind this summer. Went to that. Went to another conference. I'm going to Seattle. So you just like these opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm not like big in Facebook groups. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that's so good for everybody to hear, because I'm the same way. Like nobody knew who I was in merch because I didn't really post in the Facebook groups. Like I would look through like, every so often to make sure I was keeping up to date and see if there was things I could learn. But I wasn't commenting at all. And but then it just took like just doing one thing, like reach out to a few people, like, and then it just snowballed from there. They agreed to be on the show, like then we met more people. Everything kind of snowballs. And then for FBA, it was just like what you said. Like I used to do FBA also, and I went to ASD conference twice. I went to several different FBA conferences, and then that's how I got to know everybody in the FBA community. So that's all it takes, like for everybody out there, like just show up to something, go to the Seattle thing, go to, at least just one event. We're going to hopefully have more meetups soon. I've been for some reason, everyone I know got married this year.
No. I was thinking that looking on your Facebook page.
I'm not even done, and I've missed a lot of this stuff. Like I feel like I had to pick and choose, but it's just been like one after the other. I'm like old. I'm like, why is it this year? Like 35. Like how? I don't know. Somehow everyone I know got married this year.
It seems like when you meet people in person, it's the relationship is formed. Like it would take 10 times as long on Facebook to form that sort of relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of like, spend a few hours with people just one day, and now like you've got a connection.
Yeah. I think we're like hungry for that, because in your real life, it's like people don't even understand what you do, let alone do what you do. So it's nice to be able to talk the language.
I'm like, well, yeah, technically there's more skill to it than just saying she's shirts.
They don't understand the multi-platform.
Yeah. But you say Amazon, people are like, ooh. Like I went somewhere just this last week, and on the way from the parking lot, the ground transportation guy, was just me and him in the van, and he was asking what I was doing, blah blah blah, and I mentioned merch by Amazon, and I explained what it was. He's like, oh, what is that? Like, and he wanted to know, like, how do I find out more about this?
Nice.
That's awesome. And then cab drivers, Uber drivers, like they're like the perfect people to get involved with stuff like this, because they already have that mindset of like, their work, like they're more entrepreneurial a little bit than the average person.
I agree.
I don't know if you know Reezy Resells. I always forget his real name. Mike, I think. Mike. He's big in that. I think like everybody he talks to, all the cab, they're like always talking about Amazon and merch and all that.
Oh, I have had like a couple of patients sign up for it.
Really? Awesome.
They never really did anything with it, but like at least I got the idea in their heads that, if you want to make money.
Yeah. I couldn't get anyone to sign up, no matter how many times I talked about it. But since doing this show, now all of a sudden everybody I know has signed up, even though I had told them like I've been doing it for like 2 years before this. But something about the show, they're like, oh, now it's like official or something.
I'm pretty sure most of the people in my life have no idea what I do. Yeah. Like they have no clue, you know? So probably seeing it, Helen, like seeing it in action, they're probably like, oh, wow, okay. I'm starting to get that, you know?
Yeah.
They have to learn a little more about it.
Yeah. But I do. I love the merch community. And that's one of the, I think, one of the appeals doing merch by Amazon is like you form friendships, and you know, when you're working from home, like you crave interaction with people, and you want like your people that get, like, if you're going to freak out over a new dashboard update, like who's going to understand that?
Yeah.
Like, or they just, you know, they just added pop sockets, like no
hashtag merch problems.
Yeah, like we're so excited, or we get pissed off by something they just wouldn't understand.
Or you try to explain to people in your family, or, you know, like my husband.
Or your husband.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like you're in headlights.
I'm pretty sure if I say the word pop socket one more time in this house, I don't even know. Like,
I was like running around the mall before I even got them, like trying to figure out what the heck a pop socket was. And I told my husband, I'm going to see one in person. And literally a girl walked by in the food court and she had her phone in her back pocket. And I was like,
yeah. I'm checking on that girl's butt. Oh my God.
And I'm like, what's it say? What does it say?
So, you know, like Q4 strategy wise, like I'm thinking pop sockets are a really good thing considering what happened last year, and what I'm kind of observed also with Printful with certain products. Like Printful, for example, a lot of people have had issues with Printful. And it's been really with like t-shirts and tanks and
talk about that, because I haven't gotten into it as much. So there are quite a few other companies. So are you still going to use Printful, or are you picking a different one?
I haven't explored yet. I haven't had the issues other people have had, and I think the main reason is one, I don't try and get people, you know, stuff last minute, but the other thing is I do mostly mugs and very few apparel items. Think about like from an inventory standpoint, like they literally have 2 kinds of mugs. Well, I'm pretty sure.
And they ship really fast, I've noticed, compared to
clothes. And the mugs are they make them very fast. They ship them very fast. Like you're not going to have like the inventory issues a t-shirt has, for example, where you've got whatever, you know, and then all the sizes, all the colors, you know, that could run out. Whereas like mugs.
Good call with Amazon on
mugs. They just get a bunch of inventory of mugs, and it's easier to like keep things in stock. And that's the way I'm thinking, like maybe pop sockets might be, because we literally have like there's like pop sockets out of this black base, right? We've got one kind of pop socket.
So they can have so many, and they're so small, you could store so many. So
what's your return rate on a pop socket versus a t-shirt? Like
no.
One.
Right. But if Amazon's gonna freeze us again, right? You're gonna like throttle a bunch of listings, you know, probably because of inventory. I don't know.
Do you have like a ratio
factor?
Kristin?
What's that?
Do you have like a ratio of shirts to pop sockets that you're uploading?
I do everything almost, if it can go, unless it's like, this is my, you know, lucky bowling shirt, you know, I'm not gonna have it, but I'll make a pop socket out of every t-shirt design, you know,
because you have the slots. So
I have the slots. Yeah. And you can play around too. Like, and you'd be surprised at how many t-shirt oriented, you know, designs sell in a pop socket.
They sell so well. I feel like a lot of times to me they sell better, but who knows?
I have some shirts that didn't sell that sell as pop sockets. Like I've taken my old ones that have fallen off, and all of a sudden, like
a ton of my shirts that never sold have sold on pop sockets.
Yep.
I think people are really particular about what is on the front of them versus what is on the back of a phone.
Right, you've got this tiny thing.
Yeah.
Versus like your whole.
They're not gonna be like, oh, that font sucks. Like I'm not buying that pop socket.
Well, also less competition.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too. Is like, you know, a lot of these shirts that we've had, like if we launched them a year or two ago. I mean, like they were probably copycatted 50 million times. Now, if you're uploading them again to pop sockets, there's probably hardly any, like Kristin just said, competition, you know?
And think about it like a year to 2 years ago, like I have the ugliest shit that still sells.
Yeah.
Like on a consistent basis. And if I launched it today, it probably wouldn't sell because there's all
I did an experience. I did an experiment on one of my best-selling shirts. I had to make variations of it, and I uploaded them, and I thought they looked better. Like they looked good, and I couldn't get any of them to sell. Finally, one sold eventually, but it's like the other one, because it's been on there so long and it has reviews and everything, like even trying to copy it, like I was purposely trying to copy it and I couldn't get it to sell. So it made me feel better about copycats.
Yeah.
It made me feel a lot better.
That's a really good like story to tell, as far as that's everybody's so, I mean, rightfully so. You don't want copycats, but like, hey, don't get too worried about it. You know, like just keep designing, keep trucking forward.
I would say like, I don't look for copycats, but when I do, I'm like, usually my shirts just ranked way better and it's not an issue. But recently I found a t-shirt that kind of fell off as a teacher t-shirt, right? So I expected summertime not really to sell, but I saw like exact copycats doing better than that shirt. I thought it just like kind of fell off because the school year had ended. But other than that, like that's the only instance that I saw like
they had to go, right?
Yeah. Well, I still haven't reported them because I just have, I just have so much other stuff to do. I usually don't report people. The only time I get kind of upset is when it's my illustrators.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
I'm like, no, damn it, this is her hard work.
Yeah.
But usually I just ignore them. I really do. So
I do too, and I don't know if that's the right thing or not. I mean,
I know it's just unfortunate. It's just because all of our time is spent like uploading and like going through all these processes. It's like adding a whole nother human being in order to police force your account. It's just hard.
They're like cockroaches. Like you stomp one off, and kill it. Like
so many more come up. Yeah.
So I think it goes with success. If you're doing well, like you're gonna have a bunch. So
look at designer handbags and shoes and everything that gets ripped off. It's the good stuff.
I'm going to add, we had a few people ask questions in the Facebook group, and then I don't know about the YouTube channel too in the chat, but one of the questions was from Amajad Ahmed, and he said, what are the methods you use to sell your first t-shirt on merch?
So I don't know if he means in the beginning or just like.
I think like in the beginning, but maybe just in general too. Like, do you do any advertising? Did you buy your first shirts? Was everything just organic?
So I think, whenever like somebody gives advice that has been on it for like 2 years or so, it's going to be a little outdated. Like it's not going to be where people are at right now, just starting out. So I want to preface it by saying that because, it's just a different time 2 years ago. But, 2 years ago, I would make a simple text-based shirt. I did, because I was starting FBA, kind of not exactly the same time, but kind of close together. I had, this like knowledge of FBA, how to launch an FBA product. So I would, buy some of my own shirts because we can do that. And we could do that back then as well to kind of get things going. And, but I would sell some stuff organically. I don't think I did AMS at that point. But I'm pretty sure I had access to it just because of, FBA, the headline ads were only available on AMS at that time point. Whereas now they are in Seller Central, but if you wanted those ads, you had to, or the product display ads too, I think you had to go, create a AMS account. So for me, I was, at that point kind of hitting the bigger niches too, because I just didn't really put a lot of thought into it. So like nurses and teachers and I think dad gifts was kind of doing at the time and graduation. And I was just kind of like throwing darts around and I think pulling from my own knowledge, I would make shirts because I have a PhD, right? So I started to think about like what, getting a PhD, like what are some kind of quirky things I can make t-shirts about? What are the maybe life events that I've been through that I might want, to buy a t-shirt for, knowing like different terminology when it comes to like working on your dissertation and this and that. For a PhD, I used kind of what I knew a bit to create things. So I think that kind of looking around me and thinking about my own experiences, I think that helped me to start out. I'm in a ton of niches now. Obviously, I don't about engineering or, a lot about nursing or whatever, but I just pay attention. Like I went to my sister's graduation several months ago, and she graduated from a community college with an MRI tech degree. So I'm like, okay, they're like announcing people getting their degrees. I'm like, oh, that's a degree I've never heard of. Let me look into that. So in my day life, I like to just kind of look around.
That's awesome.
But
yeah, and I think that's so smart to do something that like
that's what you know.
Yeah, because it's like you'll understand the little like what is actually funny, like instead of just trying to guess.
Instead of taking like the same T-shirt, like world's best, or don't underestimate me. I'm a doctor.
Yeah,
I'm a whatever.
Yeah, you could do something a little bit more original. So. Awesome. Cheryl asked, how does she like to fill out her title and bullets? Looking forward to anything she says.
Anything. Like to sing a song and no. So, a lot of what I pull from are, it's just like obvious where, if you're making a shirt about, teachers, I feel like the main part of my title, like I'll put like the main keyword. Usually I don't include something people are going to specifically search for, like what's on the shirt. If it's like world's best dad, for example, I'll put world's best dad in the title because someone's kind of likely to type that in. But if it's something where it's like, a bunch of text that, you might be looking for searching for a nurse t-shirt, but not exactly what you have printed on there, I'll like put that in the bullets versus the title, because your title's your most precious real estate. So you're going to want to put your main keyword up front, and then the rest behind that.
That is so smart, because I made that mistake in the beginning where I felt like I had to say the words from the shirt, and I would put that in the title. And once pop sockets came around, I really like totally got away from that. I didn't put what it was, and the pop sockets sold so much better because I would just put the one main word, then pop sockets grip, and then like a few more words, making sure to say like cute or awesome or something, like one of those main words, and then that's it. They sold so much better.
But yeah. So I, a lot of times I won't write what's on the shirt in the title, but if it is something like that, is just like really popular right now, that somebody might put that in, I might put some of some of what's on the shirt in the title, but for the most part, I don't. I'll pop into like Birch Informer and kind of pull up the top shirts with for that, whatever that niche is, and kind of look at their keywords. And I'll use Amazon search bar itself and kind of see what pops up. There's an extension, and let me look it up.
Is it the AMZ suggestion expander?
Yes.
I love it.
So what Amy said.
I will put it in the chat because it's long.
That extension, it'll give you other what does it do? Like the beginning, what does it do? Like
it's like keywords before and keywords after. So if you type in like nurse, it might throw in like funny at the beginning and maybe shirt at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you different variations of that. So
and stuff pops up that I would never think of too. And I'm like, oh, people are looking for that.
Sometimes they'll give me shirt ideas, like different ideas. And I'll kind of branch off that. I'm like, oh, this is, what is this? Or it'll be like, sometimes it'll be very specific. And I'm like, so people are specifically searching for, whatever t-shirt.
Or like a quote, like a phrase.
Yeah, that
actually
quote,
searched. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll use that as well. And then, if I'm just wanting to see, like if it's occupation, like firefighter or what, if it's an occupation I'm not like familiar with, I might think about like, okay, well, I might just search Google and like, what are some other words for firefighter? What are the different, positions within a firefighter? Like what type who, what, when, where, I don't know.
Thesaurus, even just, I was talking to someone earlier. I just hit up thesaurus.com all the time too. Just scanned out through there real quick and pulled synonyms.
Synonyms and, like, I don't know.
Different forms of the word.
Yeah, or different types of something. Like, are there different types of firefighters? There's volunteer firefighters. There's people that aren't volunteers. I don't know what they're called. Sometimes they call people firemen.
Paramedic, EMT. Down here in Florida, you actually have to have, like, if you're a fireman, you have to be an EMT. Like, you have to have both skills.
And then also like, what are the like events, like what do they have to go through to become that, right? So if it's a lawyer, they've got to take like the bar exam. Is it a big deal when they get into law school, admission, and searching around for like different keywords for like the life events too, and be kind of, and who knows if that like gives me more traffic or not. I have no idea. I try not to spend like a ton of time on each listing. Because generally kind of what you're going with initially is all you need. But sometimes it's fun to kind of stop for a moment and search around a bit more, especially if you're just not familiar with it. Like I dated a guy who was a pharmacy student. Hopefully now he's graduated, I don't know. But like he would tell me things like, oh, there's a ceremony that we have in PharmD school, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And I remembered it. So I'm like, I include that as a keyword sometimes. Like pharmacist shirts or people in pharmacy school. So I don't know. Some of that I just pull from memory.
That when you know the niche, you can add a lot more stuff into it.
Or know somebody that knows that niche.
I was just gonna say, I'm looking at the chat finally. Like everybody knows I'm always bad at going back and forth, but there's so many. You brought so many awesome people, Kristin. Everybody wanted to be here for your show.
I made sure not to look in case anybody's gonna make me laugh.
No, I mean Amy Herberger's here, Nick Eden. I wanted to shout out Laureen Conversano. Sorry, I don't know, and Amy. Is it Amy? Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting. They both recommended recommended Merch Wizard for me to start trying it out to be an affiliate for that. So I really want to thank them for that because I've loved it. So,
I got to give you guys a thumbs up too.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you for the thumbs up. People have said that they're thumbsing
it.
Thumbsing.
Lance is here. Hi, Lance. Julie, Monty, Ryan, Raymond. Ryan's awesome. Always posting videos and helpful things in all the groups. So shout out to Ryan.
Ryan's part of the D4D team.
Yeah. You have some awesome people over there. Oh, did you see my message from Nick? I got to shout him out too. I don't know if I was like, he's got to be in your group because he's so on the ball.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, our community is just full of so many amazing people. It's unreal. It's just like, that's one of the things that I love.
Yeah, I don't know if Nick is watching, but if you're watching, you're an amazing admin. He's the admin of the Greek Facebook group, and there's only like 2 or 3 Greek people. But if anybody here is watching and you speak Greek or understand it or just want to see an awesome admin at work, join that group. He always posts amazing stuff. And it's just so awesome because there's like hardly any people there, but every day he's posting something amazing. Yeah.
I think I know one Greek word. I think I know thank you. I think it's Epharisto.
There you go. We can all go in there and just put thank you to him.
Like I went to Greece, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's awesome. But, any questions, guys? Anybody who's watching? I don't see any. I went through to see if we missed any questions.
I went all the way back. Either I answered them, like there was little questions, but nothing really.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else you want to say, Kristin? I mean, we've already filled up the whole hour. That went so quick.
Let me think.
Any more last minute Q4 tips for everybody, or do you have any goals you want to share of like what you think your Q4 will be?
Oh my God, who knows?
I know it's like, let me.
I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. But honestly, so when the like scratching my boob, but when that freeze hit me last year, it hurt, man. And for some reason, like I did like, and I did like 10K, about 10K in November, and so I was like really excited. And then the freeze hit, and it hit me like I think a little harder. And I spent some time trying to like figure out like why, were so many things throttled. I know everybody experienced that, but it just seemed like disproportionate some of the other people. And one of the things that I didn't do, because we had long sleeves at that time, right? So we had standard premium long sleeve. I think that was it. Is that it?
We didn't have sweatshirts or hoodies yet.
Yeah,
because
That came in January as like the, sorry we screwed up. Here you go.
Right.
I know, it came like just in time for warm weather. It was so frustrating. All of mine ended up falling off.
Yeah, same.
But one of the things that I didn't focus much on long sleeves because I'm like, I don't know, the standards and premiums, those are the sellers, right?
Right.
And I think that kind of hurt me a little bit. I think it would be very wise to upload things to all products.
Yes. Yeah, I learned
I don't know what's going to run out of stock.
I've been uploading all year to everything.
Yeah.
But
me too.
My December was half of what my November was.
It was less than half.
It was less than half. Yeah, I was just so frustrated. And then it did not come back at all in January. Like January, I was just it was worse than like when I very first started.
Yeah.
So it took a while to pop back from that. It was bad.
Yeah, I think I had a good May, June was,
Yeah, but it took a long time, right? Like it took several months to come back.
Yeah. But, if you have a really, really kick-ass Q4, it makes it better.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but now we've been through it. So now we know, and everybody who's listening, if you haven't been through it, like take it seriously just in case.
Yeah. Yeah. I would upload to all the products. I don't know how many we have right now. I'm really interested to see how these two international markets do.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, but it can't hurt to upload to those two because it's only one product for each one. So
yeah,
might as well. I don't really have any tips on those two things because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't been getting that many sales. England or UK has been doing better for me than Germany, but I have more.
I think Germany's been doing a little better for me.
Oh, okay.
It's weird.
Have you been? Are your shirts in English, like the actual shirt? Or
most are in English, but I got really excited when I got access because I was like one of the in the beginning people, so I was like, haha, let me beat out everybody uploading and doing research. And so I made some really shitty German designs myself over that weekend when I first got access. Some of them I sold just a little bit, but most of them are in English. And then I do some really crappy translation. I have no idea what I'm doing. So
yeah.
In the listings. So yeah, no guidance there. But yeah, upload to all products and have a fun Q4. And I would just upload. And I don't know. I like AMS so far. It's AMS is something that also fell off. Like when did they took away sponsored products?
I think it was
so weird that it fell off for everybody. It never fell off for me.
No, you had a glitch. Like it was your email versus your merch. I don't know what it was, but there was something because some people still had it and some people didn't. And we figured out it was an email, what email you used versus what you used for merch. Was it different?
No, I had the same email address for both.
Never mind.
I don't know if it's just because I had it so long. Like I did FBA.
I had mine a long time too.
I did FBA since 2014. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Oh, that is a little early, huh?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Amazon's so weird. It's like you never know. It could be so many different things. I mean, I still have my Amazon game. Yeah, I still was doing FBA all the way until spring of this year. Like I really am not doing it right now, but so who knows? I don't know the answers. But
since I got AMS back, I know not everybody has. It's really helped out a lot. And I just do auto campaigns for now. I'm still trying to master it. So just do low bid, low budget auto campaigns for as many shirts as I can. And so I'm not very skilled, but it's definitely helped kind of give me a little bit of an edge. And increase.
I haven't figured out what exactly is the reason why some shirts do well and some don't. So I just kind of just stop the campaigns because a lot of shirts end up just not selling, and I just stop all those campaigns. And then I have one shirt that just always, no matter what, sells, and it's it's been a long campaign for a long time, and it's 9% A cost or less than that. I think it's 5. I think my average was 9 because I stopped them all. It was 5% A cost, and it just goes So I only have a few campaigns like that, and all the rest I just stop and just keep those ones.
Well, I have several thousand, at least a couple thousand auto campaigns going right now. And some of them just don't get any impressions. And, I haven't really gone in there and tried to play around with the bid, but and some of them kind of take off at that low bid. And so my overall ACOS is 10%, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's going pretty well.
Yeah,
I don't really have any tips for anybody about it, but check it out.
That's really good. Yeah, just start low. I usually do 15 cents or something. I don't know if that's even low, but that's usually what I do.
It's a guess, right? Like, oh, let me just pick a random number. Seems reasonable. Like, if I get a click, it's not going to kill my, kill my budget. So, and then like clicks are like 2 cents anyways, or 3 cents, or 10 cents. That doesn't mean it's going to go for 15 cents.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And they don't go through your whole budget. I think we've mentioned that before. People who are used to Facebook ads or other kind of ads, they'll go through your whole daily budget. But AMS, they a lot of times don't go through your daily budget. So
I gotta run to dinner, guys.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think we're pretty much done anyway. But thank you so much, Kristin, for being on here with us.
Thank you for having
me. Awesome. And thank you everybody for watching.
Who's going to Seattle? Amy. All right.
I wanted to, but I have a wedding. I told you everyone's getting married, and I seriously have a wedding that weekend.
All right. Well, I'll see
one of my roommates from college.
I'll see Amy in 2 days then.
Yay!
Great.
All right. Well, bye everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.